Well, both sides coming off huge wins in the quarter-final. Mexico produced their highest ever win in the Copa America, beating Paraguay by 6-0. And the main news for them, as far as the lineup is concerned, is that Castillo, who's been a star for them up to now, has passed a fitness test on a knee injury and partners Cacho in attack. Argentina, well, the one really selection poser for their coach Alfio Basile was to who was going to start with Lionel Messi up front. Would it be Diego Milito or Carlos Tevez? Well, the latter gets the nod, so Messi and Tevez will be the front two, with Riquelme once again pulling the strings just behind them. The conditions, we're glad to say, are nigh on perfect. Looks a really good pitch here at the Estadio Polideportivo Cachamay in Puerto Ordaz. And this is the stadium in which Mexico beat Brazil 2-0 in their first match in this tournament. So that may be a good omen for Rafael Marquez and company. The two players who ply their trade in Spain's La Liga know each other very well. Roberto Ayala, the captain of Argentina, tonight winning his 114th cap and his opposite number 80th cap in the famous green of Mexico for Barcelona's Rafael Marquez. Referee, incidentally, this evening comes from Chile, 42-year-old Carlos Chandia. Well, Gary, what a match in prospect.
Unbelievably so. Rightly say, the best two teams we've seen in the tournament, without a doubt. And Argentina have got to be massive favourites because of the way they've played the game. The manager said he's proud of them, not because they've been winning games, but because of the way they've played and won the games. And I think we all echo that. It's absolutely fantastic to watch. That's how football should be played, but don't underestimate Mexico. If they can get down at Zanetti and Ayala, the two elder statesmen of the back four, with Guardado and we'll keep talking about Castillo, then they've got a chance, but they have to do that. They have to be confident enough to take that on themselves and not sit back and let Argentina dictate to them.
We don't know just how much of a risk Hugo Sanchez, the Mexico coach, is taking in Castillo, but given his performances, then it wouldn't be at all surprising if Sanchez did start him tonight here against Argentina, because as you said, Gary, rightly there, his pace, his awareness, his ability to score goals, above all, is going to be potentially a potent weapon for a Mexico side that's playing, rather strangely, a second consecutive major tournament. In fact, they played in the CONCACAF Gold Cup final against the United States, and that match was only the weekend prior to this tournament beginning. And most of the squad were on duty in the CONCACAF tournament, although three players who starred for Mexico in the World Cup didn't make the squad. They asked to be left out due to fatigue. There's no Salcido, Osorio or Pardo. Interesting to note that looking all around the stadium, Venezuelan shirts, Brazil shirts, shirts of just about every one of the participating nations in what's been an enthralling Copa America. 76 goals in the 23 games prior to the start of this, the second semi-final. So Argentina and Mexico for the right to play Brazil in the final on Sunday. And Mexico play from right to left in the first half. Early touch here for Marquez. Magallon, who's much less experienced than Marquez at the back for Mexico, the number 2 on the ball here, but he's had a fine tournament up to now. Certainly hasn't looked out of place.
One thing they are, Mexico, they're well organised. Everybody fits the positions and they've got pace. Young legs in there, and that's one thing they can try and utilise against the back four of Argentina, who, to be fair, in a lot of the games have started sluggishly, if you can accuse Argentina of starting sluggishly. You know, they come to the game maybe in the second half and start to tear teams apart, but first half they've not been that overwhelming.
No, it's a valid point. And Argentina have actually gone behind a couple of times in their group matches. Offside against Lionel Messi. Wasn't much in it though, was there?
How close as that? He's right in line, the assistant. Just about got that one right. But that's the danger. His starting positions, Messi, is so good. He'll drop deep, he'll push on, he'll go wide. He's so difficult to pick up and mark.
Marquez just managed to extricate himself from what potentially might have been a spotted bother. A trip on Magallon.
Nothing much in that, was there? So exuberance from Tevez. Wanted to prove a point. He's got a starting position.
Just brushed off Zanetti and out for a throw here to Mexico. The exciting Guardado to take. He's just agreed a move to Spain. He's off to Deportivo La Coruña next season. Given away by Correa. It's a lovely way to pass. And Magallon has lost out here. Argentina with a chance. Tevez denied by Sanchez. But in the excitement, and there is huge noise around this stadium, the whistle was already in evidence.
Little nudge in the back, that was the referee's brought it back for. But what a wonderful ball from Messi. Weighted to perfection, and Tevez not quite the pace to get onto it.
Correa. Now Castro. Castillo. And no sign of injury there as Castillo got on the ball for the first time. Nice link up between Messi and Tevez, but it was Castro who got a foot in for Mexico. The game was set off at a high tempo, as we expected it would.
Riquelme, that's his first introduction to the game. A little trip there. Need him on the ball in this game. Everything comes through him. All the talk's been about Messi mainly, but I think sometimes you look what Riquelme does and the ability he possesses, and you just sit back and just enjoy every moment when he's on the ball.
Gary, Argentina started off the tournament. Coach Basile began with a target man in Hernan Crespo, picked up injury, and unfortunately for him is missing the rest of the tournament. Then he has tried Diego Milito in a couple of matches, but has preferred Tevez tonight. It's going to be interesting to see the partnership of Tevez and Messi, because neither of them are really out and out target centre forwards, if you like, are they?
Not at all, but they don't need to be. The movement is terrific. They'll drop short, they'll go wide, they'll drag people into areas they don't like, and then you'll see Riquelme come into the place, and you'll see even Mascherano, who's got a couple of goals, you know, the holding midfield player, if you like. They all come into the gaps that Messi and Tevez leave, and Veron, we're missing him out as well. And we've got such mobility and movement in that final third.
Good players adapt.
These aren't good players, these are great players.
Certainly the envy, this current Argentina squad, of every national coach in world football, but they haven't won a major trophy since they last lifted the Copa America in 1993. It's amazing that the likes of Veron and Zanetti and Crespo not got a major title behind them. Maybe it'll all change here in Venezuela. Cambiasso.
I listened to Paul in the studio before the game talk about the World Cup. First shot on target, so the goalkeeper shows their intent. Riquelme never afraid to have a go. It's a good strike, didn't move a great deal, good positioning. But going back to Paul in the studio, you mentioned the World Cup. They went through the group stages superbly, but in the next round they had a negative manager. They didn't need to do what they did in the game they got knocked out. He brought 3 key players off, and it just transformed the way Argentina performed in that World Cup. It cost them the World Cup for me, because they would beat everybody out of sight. And all of a sudden, a team at the highest level will pick up on negativity, and that's what happened to them.
Jose Peckerman was the man in charge in Germany, and Alfio Basile came in after the finals there for his second stint in the job. His first stint ended way back in 1990.
We've talked a lot about Argentina. Let's talk a bit about Mexico as well. I think they've been superb for this tournament. And it's not just about Castillo, it's about Guardado. He can hurt you. Arce on the other flank can hurt you. Cacho, we don't really often mention him. It's all been about Castillo, and rightly so. He's been, terrific for them. But they're a better team than that, just relying on one player. They wouldn't be here in the semi-final had it just been about Castillo.
Here's Riquelme. Immediately they try and group around the mercurial number 10.
Well, this is where he's so good. Look at the strength. These two of them in the end to bring him down. Talk about not being able to play in the Premiership. I think it's total and utter rot. He can play in the Premiership. He's strong on the ball, hard to knock off. I just think get players around him who will do the leg work for him. He'll be an absolute revelation.
Sanchez busily organising that Mexican wall. Just a touch too far out for a direct strike, I think, from Riquelme. Ayala's made his way forward from the back, aimed in his direction.
Mexico started reasonably well. They've kept it tight. They've not allowed Riquelme to dictate. Every time Messi's got on the ball, they've closed him down very quickly. But how long can you do that for? You can do it for 5, 10, 15 minutes, but then Tevez will hurt you. Veron will come into it. That's the problem against Argentina. It's not 1 or 2. It's 5 or 6 you've got to stop.
Both teams with every right to feel confident. This is Pinto. Didn't have a single senior international cap, the Mexican left-back, before this tournament. Same applies to the central midfielder Correa. It's been a heady last couple of weeks for those two. Cut out well here by Guardado. Opportunities here for Mexico. Guardado. Shot may be on here now. The opportunity's lost initially for Arce, and the follow-up shot from Cacho doesn't trouble Abondanzieri.
Why didn't Hever go before? It's not bad. He's leaning backwards slightly. That's why it's gone over the top. But they had 2 chances to get a strike, a better strike than that one on goal. Just trying to overdo it a little bit. But that came from a mistake by Riquelme. Played it across field, got cut out by Guardado, and the next minute Argentina are in trouble. And I think that's the area they can hurt Argentina if they get at Zanetti and Ayala. 2 great players, but a bit of pace against them. That's an area they can exploit.
Little nudge on Riquelme. An Argentina free kick. Wonderful match these two gave us in the World Cup finals last year in Leipzig. It went to extra time, and Argentina only edged out Mexico 2-1 thanks to a wonder goal. I'm sure you remember it, that volley from Maxi Rodriguez.
Who could forget that?
Held up well by Tevez. Messi trying to keep things alive here for Argentina.
How noticeable is it? As soon as Messi or Tevez get the ball, 2 round them.
And here's Messi again. Just tangled a little bit there with Guardado, but no danger for Mexico in the end.
Clearly, look at that. 1-2, he's blocked off there. Bit of obstruction. You can see the coach has sold it. Every time Tevez, Riquelme or Messi pick it up, get round them, double up on them. Don't allow them. Foul them if you need, but just don't let them get at you in and around the box, because they'll absolutely destroy you.
Mexico with a very good record in the Copa America since they were first invited to the party back in 1993. It's when the South American nations decided to allow 2 invitees to each tournament. And this is their 7th Copa America and their 5th semi. Never failed to reach the knockout stages. There's been a little bit of criticism of Mexico in the past, perhaps fearing the real big guns like Argentina and Brazil and being perhaps a little weak psychologically, but I don't think it applies to this squad. With plenty of confidence, but here come Argentina with Tevez, Riquelme.
Look at that, 6 green shirts straight around Riquelme and Tevez there.
Clipped forward by Veron for Zanetti, who's done really well. It's Javier Zanetti.
Well, went to his head there, didn't it? 2 excellent pieces of skill. Should have laid it back. Sells a dummy there, and that's a poor attempt from an acute angle. He's sensed a bit of glory there.
Ayala took his eye off that, and the busy Castillo runs into Ayala. But that was so unlike the vastly experienced centre-back. You can't take any liberties with Castillo around.
You certainly can't. In the end, he has to bring him down, but that's the area I was talking about again. Good players, great players as they've been, maybe still are coming to the end of their careers. That is an area where you can hurt them. When you get around the feet, with your pace, that little bit of acceleration, put them under pressure, and we see what happens there. You get something out of it. And they seem to be coming down this side with Zanetti and Ayala. Enze's oddly been troubled so far, as not Melito. That side, they've probably thought, right, that's not too bad, but let's have a go at the older generation of the back 4.
Well, I think the captain fancies this, Rafael Marquez. To the left of the ball, Marquez wearing 4. Well, it didn't come off the frame of the goal, it hit the camera behind the goal. There was no trouble there for Abondanzieri.
I'm surprised the centre-half has taken a free kick there. Well, fancy Castillo, Cacio, I'd say Guardado, but not a centre-half.
Ayala. Now, Gabriel Heinze. This is Gabi Milito, who's just agreed to move to Barcelona next season, the man on the ball. Moving from Real Zaragoza for around £14 million. Plenty of room in which to turn here for Tevez. Castro is there in the covering job for Mexico.
What they are doing well, Mexico, they're just dropping a little bit deeper. And if Tevez or Messi do pick it up in midfield and want to run, they're backing off that far. It's difficult to get a lot of space behind. Problem you have as a back 4, if you keep a higher line, Messi and Tevez will destroy you. They'll get into the gap behind. You just drop off a little bit deeper, it's more difficult for them to run at people and beat 3 or 4 players. But we know they can do it. We've seen them do it on many occasions.
Quarter of an hour gone and not too much between the 2 sides here in the second semi-final. Brazil booked their place rather nervously in Sunday's final by virtue of a 5-4 penalty shootout victory over Uruguay. But Uruguay at one stage in that shootout had a penalty to win it, but Pablo Garcia hit a post.
Well, that's how tournaments can change, isn't it? Another crude foul there, Mascherano. Brazil at Uruguay were possibly the worst of the teams in the group stages. Very boring, very predictable, but as the tournament went on, it got better, and same with Brazil. They looked ordinary. How many times have you said that about a Brazil side? But They're in the final.
Castillo taking on one too many there in the shape of Mascherano.
Four green shirts around Messi again. Clear what the game plan is. And so far we're 17 minutes in and they've not allowed Riquelme to get on the ball. You pick out your key players in the opposition and you try and close them down, and so far they've done it well.
Here's Cambiasso, who along with Zanetti and the goalkeeper Abondanzieri are the three players to have started every game for Argentina in this tournament. Forward by Ayala. Got away from Riquelme.
I think Crespo's a big miss for Argentina. Started the tournament well and injured himself taking a penalty. It gives you a different option.
He was still around long enough to score 3 goals, Hernan Crespo, and probably might have been out in front, or certainly ending up as the tournament's top scorer had he stayed fit. Kind of regularity in which Argentina fashioned goal-scoring chances. Who wouldn't want to play centre forward in this team? This is Arce for Mexico. He's won a corner out of Ayala.
You mentioned Crespo. Tevez and Messi, similar. Crespo, different outlet, good in the air, different movement, and difficult to mark against at times. Plus he's a lethal finisher.
Correa. Goalkeeper decides to come and got plenty of distance on the fist. Abondanzieri. Here's Castillo. Tricky customer. He's not going to get through that wall of blue and white shirts.
It's not the sort of service Tevez and Messi want. Long ball from Veron.
Mexico coming forward with some purpose again here. Arce appeals, albeit half-heartedly, for an arm used by Ainse. Referee not interested. Here's Veron. Something of an Indian summer for Veron back in the Argentine international side. He was made the scapegoat for the 2002 World Cup debacle and didn't go to Germany last year. Just coming off a very good season with Estudiantes, won the title, their first in over 2 decades.
I'll tell you what, the work rate of Mexico at the moment is absolutely terrific. It's closing down, they're pushing up as a unit, not allowing Argentina any time. Look, they forced them right the way back. Argentina won't mind that, they're used to that. They're patient, they'll just play the same game they always do. Keep possession, move the opposition around.
Well, that's what they've done to good effect throughout this tournament. It's interesting to note that 9 of their 13 goals have been scored in the second half. Certainly what they did against Peru in the quarter-final. Now, they are a little bit light at the back. Now it's Tevez!
Well, they give him a little sniff there, nearly punished as them. One thing in his mind, he's going to have a shot. If he'd have looked to his right, Lionel Messi was closing in. That'll please the coach a little bit more.
He doesn't often smile, 63-year-old Alfio Basile, but certainly his team plays with a smile.
As far as the coach of Argentina, I would not be without a smile on my face for 90 minutes.
Ball protected beautifully there by Messi. Tevez. Just got caught in two minds there, Carlos Tevez.
He slowed it down a little bit too much. I think that's the difference between him and Messi. Messi plays it, he's on the move all the time. When he's played, never stops. I think Tevez sometimes just slow it down a little bit more than Messi.
This is Pinto, now Guardado. Torrado finding Correa, now Castro. Another inexperienced player, Castro. He's only winning his 7th cap tonight, the right back in possession here.
Let's give Mexico credit here. 22 minutes in, and they're not afraid of Argentina. You can see that. They started the basics well, but doing the hard work well. And now they're just starting to get a little bit of possession of their own. And I'm sure that would have been Sanchez's call before the game. Close them down, first 15-20 minutes, and then bring your own style and your own play into this game going forward.
Arce. Mascherano forced to concede the throw. Good foraging there from Cacho.
Does that job well though, Mascherano, doesn't he? Protects that back four. Gets caught in the lower back, making the tackle there. Awkward fall. Straight away he's been his back.
There's been some talk about a possible move back to Italy and into Milan for Veron. Mentioned earlier, he'd just gone back to Estudiantes for the season just finished. It was his first time back playing football in his native country for 10 years. Basile has won the Copa America twice, 91 and 93. And in 1993 they beat Mexico in the final, and playing for Mexico on that occasion was the current coach, the great Hugo Sanchez. Tevez. Veron. Messi. Veron again. He's got Zanetti to his right. Chooses Messi instead.
Again, terrific closing down by Mexico. My one worry for them is, can they do it for 90 minutes? So difficult to do.
Well, they have looked one of the fittest, if not the fittest team in the tournament up to now. They're going to need to be. Well, they've come into this match knowing that they wouldn't get perhaps as much of the ball as Argentina over the 90 minutes. Having said that, they've not looked second best in the opening 25 minutes in any department.
They certainly haven't. It's difficult to close down against Argentina is the way they play 5 and 10 yard triangles. Pass and move, and support the man on the ball all the time.
In by Riquelme. Goalkeeper's lost the flight of that, and it struck Castro and rolled out for an Argentina corner.
It looked to be going too far when Riquelme struck that, but Ayala ghosted in at the far post.
Nervy moment though for Oswaldo Sanchez, the 33-year-old Mexican goalkeeper. Juan Román Riquelme to take the Argentina corner.
Not one of his better ones, straight to the goalkeeper's hands, but no challenge anywhere near from an Argentina player in the 6-yard box.
Veron. Free kick goes against Pinto.
Straight away, right through the back of Tevez there. The referee's got to clamp down on this.
Two players, incidentally, carrying a yellow card into this second semi-final. One on either side. If they were to get another yellow, they would miss the final. Ayala for Argentina and Magayon for Mexico.
Frustration creeping in there. Argentina, Riquelme, and a few instructions out to Veron as to where he wants it and how he wants it.
Well, it has been known for Argentina squads to squabble and fall out at a major tournament, but they say that this is one of the most united Argentinian squads for many years.
I don't mind teams squabbling and falling out a little bit on the pitch. Shows they care.
And it's not always negative. Mexico getting some joy again down that right-hand side. Gabi Milito in with the challenge, and didn't get much of the ball, did he?
Didn't get any of the ball, did he? Did the assistant give it? Well, fair play to him, he did. It would have been easy to give a corner there.
Good position here now for Mexico. Cacho taking a position there just on the edge of the 6-yard area, perhaps looking to be a screen to the goalkeeper, Abondanzieri. Torrado's in there. Magayon. It's Arce to take it. Comfortable header away for Gabi Milito.
How quick Mexico get back there to close it down. To be half a break on there, Tevez and Messi, but all of a sudden the green shirts surrounded them both and the chance was gone.
Just a quiet word there from the referee to Riquelme, who once again was looking less than pleased about something.
I think it's all these niggly little fouls that Mexico are giving away every time he's on the ball. They're snapping at his heels. Doesn't like it. No player does. That's the key for Mexico so far. The work rate has been absolutely superb. Going forward, they've not created a great deal. Abondanzieri's not had a save to make. Sanchez has just had the one that went straight at his body from the free kick.
Half an hour gone, and Puerto Ordaz. Mexico more than holding their own here against the tournament favourites.
I think you're right about the fitness levels from Mexico. They're spot on, but your concentration level has to be even better. If you do switch off against them, oh, boy, you're in trouble. Again, stopped in his tracks. Soon as there's a hint of danger, down he goes. I say the referee has got to clamp down on this, because if they keep getting away with it, it's wrong.
Well, these are the areas where they'll want to concede them if they have to. But the referee's patience is about to be exhausted, I think. Not too far away from a first yellow card.
How negative was that? Riquelme's played the ball across and it's just a punt upfield. Zanetti by the look of it. Very on Argentina like. I think that may be a bit of frustration. Tells you Mexico are doing a good job closing them down.
This is Pinto. Plenty of time here for Castro. Straight though, presented the pass to Cambiasso.
It's a little over-exuberant at times, Mexico going forward. They see the space in front of them and try and play it too quickly, and they're just giving it away. And Sanchez is just saying, calm it down, slow it down a little bit, keep possession, keep giving it back to them.
Well, more Copa America football coming up for you at the weekend. It's a little matter of the final. Sky Sports 1, Sunday, 9:30. Brazil against who? Argentina or Mexico? Three years ago in Peru, it was Brazil and Argentina in the final. It went to a penalty shootout, and Brazil won it. Just a reminder that if we are level at the end of 90 minutes in this semi-final, there's no extra time. The sides would go straight to penalties. This is Torrado.
Again, giving them no time on the ball whatsoever. I think usually the back four will say, well, we've got time on the ball, but in that instant there, we'll close down straight away, intensifying that pressure, asking more questions of Argentina. Here's another one. How many of those have we seen in the first half? Starting to get a bit ragged now, Argentina.
And a yellow card has been produced for Veron. We thought a Mexican player might be the first to go in the book, but just a sign there of frustration from Veron.
It's a poor one. Just over the last 5 or 10 minutes, they've started giving the ball away. They're being forced back into their own half, and they don't like it. They're not used to it. But the referee, I think there's been that many fouls against Riquelme, against Messi, against Tevez, persistent little fouls that maybe are around the centre circle, that the referee thinks, well, it's not really hurting Mexico there. You know, we'll let him get away with it. You can't. You've got to give them.
In by Arce. Throw has gone in favour here of Mexico. Correa. Arce. Nice little return pass. Lots of space here. It's Guardado. Real chance, Mexico. And he can't take it.
Well, he seemed to do everything right. Cuts in, sells the dummy. And he knows what a big opportunity that was to put his team in the lead. Good first touch, checks inside. I'm thinking, hit it with your right foot. He hits it with his left foot outside of the post. Goalkeeper beating all ends up. That's a decent effort. I think if he hits it with his right, he's got a better chance of hitting the target in the centre of the goal. But again, it's that area, that right-hand side for Argentina, the Zanetti Ayala side, where I think Mexico are looking to pick them off.
Well, a real boost for the Mexican fans, and there are plenty of them inside this stadium. That they carved open that Argentina defence there. But Guardado failed to be the hero. Just lost his composure, the 20-year-old.
Had he gone with his right foot instead of his left, it might have been a different outcome. But you look at the Argentina setup, and Mexico think, right, 4 midfield players. We know about Riquelme. If we give him time and space, he'll hurt us in a big way. Then they'll look at the other three, Cambiasso, Mascherano, Veron, and think, well, I don't think we'll get a lot of trouble from them if Riquelme's closed down. And that's what's happening at the moment. Cambiasso's hardly been involved. Veron, not the player he used to be, we know that. And Mascherano is a defensive midfield player. And they're finding it difficult to get any sort of possession in their final third. Till now.
Finally a bit of room for Cambiasso, who finds Carlos Tevez. Riquelme. He's under corner.
Again, we have to say it. Hugo Sanchez has got a terrific game plan in action this first half. Close Riquelme down straight away. Two, straight around him. Didn't allow him to weave his magic.
Ayala, Ainse, both in the heart of that Mexican penalty area.
Look at that for closing down. How good is that? Two, forcing Mascherano to play it back to the keeper. Then the keeper has to hurry because he's being hounded by two Mexican strikers. There's desire for you. Oh, there's another one. See, that's got to be cut out. The referee has got to start saying, right, that's enough. Yeah, it must have been 10, 12, 15 fouls in and around that sort of area.
Riquelme. Veron. Guardado.
Argentina usually force most teams to go defensive and negative and maybe sit back a little bit, the pressure up, but with this fitness levels of this Mexican team and the belief when they go forward with Castillo, with Arce, with Guardado and Cacho, they're just not frightened.
They got the balance just right at the moment, Mexico. Can they sustain it over 90 minutes against this star-studded Argentina side? This is Lionel Messi. Almost got a return off a Mexican boot there. Terrific challenge there from young Guardado. Showed there how much Castillo wanted the ball on his left foot. He wasn't prepared to move to the right-hand side of the field where there was room.
A lot of room, no awareness there from him, but give Mascherano credit there. He tracked back yet again and snuffed out that danger.
Snuffs out the danger again, a Liverpool man. Good cover from the left back, Pinto on Tevez. Arce.
What a good job he's done. Hugo Sanchez. They play away like we all like to see. They get the ball down. They're a youngish side. Got a lot to learn. A naivety about them at times, but full of ability. Just a bit of composure where it's needed further forward.
Well, he banged the drum for a long time, Hugo Sanchez. He thought he should have had the Mexican national coaching job before Ricardo Lavolpe, who took them to the last World Cup in Germany. And he had a lot of unkind things to say, Sanchez, about Lavolpe. But now it is his time. And he says he's capable of building a team to win the World Cup. Bold statement. Here they're playing Argentina for a place in the Copa America final. They're taking the game to Argentina again, but I'd say he'll get nothing there.
That's what lets them down a little bit, that bit in and around the box. They need a little bit more composure, a little bit more of a cutting edge, maybe work it a bit quicker than they are doing.
Tevez. Riquelme. Zanetti. Now Veron. Ainse. Still prepared to pass the ball about patiently, so much part of their game, Argentina. A lovely return pass from Riquelme! And Sanchez to deny Tevez.
Well, that's the first real sniff they've had. And that's because they swarm round Riquelme, let Tevez run, but it's not a decent strike, not a clean strike. But that's just what happens. You've done it for 40 minutes, all of a sudden, one little opening created by Riquelme and Tevez, and you're nearly down and all your hard work's gone out the window.
Castillo. Guardado. Pinto free here. Torrado. Correa. That's it. Passed the ball around nicely there, Mexico, until they got into the area where they were hoping to hurt Argentina, who are coming forward now with menace. It's Riquelme, and Torrado is all over Juan Román Riquelme, and he's earned himself a yellow.
At last. When you saw Riquelme pick that up, you knew he wasn't going to get away with pace. He had to check back, and there was nobody in a forward position for him to play it through to. So nudging to the side of him, stop him any way they can. But he's getting fed up of that. Look, no attempt to play the ball, just bring him down.
On the occasion of his 70th cap, his third Copa America, Gerardo Torrado goes into the book. This just about might be in range. Would need an extra special strike to beat Sanchez from here, but Argentina may well fancy it.
Why not? Coming up to half-time.
Inevitably, it's Riquelme over the free kick. Referee warning that Mexican wall not to encroach. Riquelme goes for the chip. Oh, and it's in! Beautifully worked. And it's Manchester United's Gabriel Ainse who got the all-important touch. And Argentina, just before half-time, have the lead in the semi-final.
Well, everybody thought he was going to go for a shot. Where's the goalkeeper? What is he doing there? No right to come over there. Terrific finish by Ainse. Brave gets in there, his foot was up. I don't think he'll be claiming anything against that, but the keeper has come out for me and cost his team. So there you go, you switch off for an instant against them and you're down. Everybody thought the shot was on from Riquelme. He's not done that. He has put it to the far post, lovely dink, and what is the goalkeeper doing? They've got no right. His defenders could have coped with that. Had he stayed on his line, Ainse would not have scored.
Mexico were just seconds away from pats on the back all round in the dressing room, and now the atmosphere in there will be an entirely different one. They played so well in this first half. Asked questions at times of Argentina at the back. Guardado missing an excellent chance, and all round the game plan, as Gary Birtles was rightly pointing out, working to perfection. But you can't legislate for weak goalkeeping provided there from the very experienced Sanchez.
Just didn't do anything, did he? He didn't come out and try and collect it, to punch it. He just stopped. It's a good finish by Ainse. It's a difficult height to get the right connection.
Only Gabi Ainse's second goal for Argentina. It's half-time in Puerto Ordaz, and a real sting at the end of the first half as far as Mexico are concerned. Castillo having words with the Chilean referee, Carlos Chandia. Mexico, and that before a ball was kicked here in Venezuela was to reach the semi-finals. Now they want to go one better to upset the odds and take the scalp of Argentina, who lead through that Heinze goal in the final minute of the first half. And certainly their overall performance, Mexico deserve to go in at the break on level terms. They're not. And the longer this second half goes on with that scoreline intact for Argentina, the more likely the favourites are to go on and win by a more handsome margin. But don't discount Mexico just yet.
Definitely not. I just wonder what the mindset of the players are like. I think the big team talk from Hugo Sanchez. Young players have still got to believe they've got a chance against this Argentina side. Just one lapse of concentration cost them just before half-time, and you need to lift young players. I'm surprised to see substitutions so early. I thought they might have just kept it as the way they did in the first half. They could keep it at 1-0, then bring somebody on, but playing the cards early this second half.
Here's Omar Bravo, one of the two switchers. Medina is in possession now. Thumped forward by Veron. No changes in personnel for Argentina, who preferred Carlos Tevez from the start to Diego Milito. The one change from the 4-0 win in the quarter-final against Peru, when that game was goalless, by the way, at half-time. And Argentina then turned in a sumptuous 45-minute display where they really took Peru to the cleaners. Here's Arce. It was a poor challenge from Mascherano.
He's hurt himself in that challenge as well. Good footwork, just catches his ankle, gets his own studs caught on the ground. Bright start by Mexico, clearly not fazed by going 1-0 down. That's a good sign.
Cacho didn't trouble the Argentinian defence too much in the first half. The more experienced Bravo might just bring a more level head to proceedings for Hugo Sanchez, who himself was one of the truly great strikers. Scored over 250 goals from 1985 onwards in one of the most illustrious periods in Real Madrid's history. Now, from a not dissimilar position, Argentina got the only goal of this semi-final just before the break. What have Mexico got up their sleeve here? It's going to be a blast towards Abondanzieri's goal, but goalkeeper not remotely troubled by that.
That's where you need. It's totally off balance, look. Both feet off the floor. No composure with that one. Goes for pace rather than whip and curl.
From 3 or 4 set pieces tonight, clearly Mexico don't have a Riquelme or anybody close to that sort of artistry to get over their set pieces.
Scored a cracker against Brazil though, didn't they? They beat Brazil 2-0.
This is strong running from Veron. Invites Messi to get on his bike. And Lionel Messi has earned a corner out of Castro, who thought the final touch came off Messi.
That was a little bit sloppy from Veron there. Pushed Messi wide, didn't need to.
Sanchez, the goalkeeper, hoping that he's put firmly to the back of his mind that slip that led in Heinze for the goal. Corner driven in by Messi. Back in by Tevez. Veron. Messi. Taken on by Riquelme. Cambiasso. Veron.
Terrible balance and poise on the ball from Riquelme there, wasn't it?
Here's Messi. Down under the challenge. And the referee's going to book Leo Messi. He was met by his Barcelona teammate Rafael Marquez, but he's wearing a rather sheepish look, and that's why.
I think he's caught him. There's contact there. Tries to pull out, still contact.
Well, if there was, it was minimal. Very, very little display of emotion from Messi when the yellow card was proffered at him.
Well, he got a penalty that he shouldn't have had earlier in the tournament. Maybe it's come round to even itself up.
Guardado. Good cover there by Gavi Milito on Castillo, who still could be a saviour here for Mexico. Neri Castillo's had a wonderful tournament up to now. Marquez, it's a clever disguise on the pass. Guardado wide here to Pinto. Not a good clearance from Mascherano. They just can't hit the target, Mexico.
It's just where it's letting them down. Takes it early, tries to catch the keeper, again off balance. They just need a little bit more composure, a bit more patience around that Argentinian box. I want to watch this Mexico team over the next few years under Hugo Sanchez progress, because I like what I see at the moment.
Will it be a happy birthday for him? He's 49 today, Sanchez. Although they reached the Gold Cup final in the CONCACAF tournament just before this Copa America started, they weren't entirely impressive along the way. They lost to Honduras and only just squeezed past the Minnows of Guadeloupe in the semi-final 1-0. But they have upped their act here, and they're still a threat to Argentina.
And it's Mascherano tracking back, protecting his back foot, gives the foul away.
Pinto. Guardado. Arce. Well, lovely cutback. This is Castillo. It's good defending from Gabriel Milito. Just closed the door there on Castillo.
It had to be, and they're showing really good intent this second half, Mexico. But a little bit of space is starting to open up again. They are pushing bodies forward, desperate to get back in this game. It'll be a lot earlier than most people would have thought. I think they might have played the same sort of game, but kept the scoreline down to 0-0 until that mistake just before half-time. They're not, they're just going straight for the throat of Argentina early in this second half.
Veron. Push there from Tevez, whose proposed move to Manchester United is still fraught with all manner of complications. Zanetti might have gone back to his goalkeeper there and decided against it.
Still the pressure excellent from Mexico. Right. The Argentina player relax.
So often in the recent past, and indeed in this tournament, it's been Argentina taking the game to the opposition, but here's Castillo! Denied by the crossbar. Mexico so unlucky.
They so are unlucky there. He has lit this tournament up. Good first touch. just a little bit too high, across the face of the goal, hits the top of the bar. The goalkeeper beating all ends up. Maybe he should have drilled it hard and low. It's the only thing you could possibly say to criticise him, but I just like what I see with this Mexican side. They've not been put off, they've not dropped their shoulders. There's still a belief there, and while they've got Castillo in this form, they've got a big chance of getting back in this game.
Well, you have to feel if that was on his more favoured left side, he would have taken that opportunity for what would have been his 5th goal of the tournament. Here's Veron looking to get Argentina out of their own half. It's taken on here by Leo Messi. Tevez looking for the return off for Riquelme. Spooned up in the air by Pinto. Mexico know that they can't afford to switch off for a single second like their goalkeeper did. Perhaps crucially, right at the end of the first half. Here's Castillo. Well, we talked at the outset of this Copa America that this was a real showcase for any players that would put their heads above the parapet and show what talent they have. And currently with Olympiacos in Greece, but now Valencia of Spain showing massive interest in Neri Castillo. And my understanding is that that deal is pretty close to fruition.
No surprise there. I'm surprised more clubs aren't interested.
Cambiasso. Javier Zanetti. Riquelme, just for once, caught in possession. Marquez. Lovely ball from Veron. And it's Messi looking to get into overdrive here. Lionel Messi. Held up well initially by the right back Castro, who's in there again aggressively. Well, that looked like a foul on Messi without any question.
Posse there on him. 3 around him. One was always going to finish him off. His strength's good. His battling qualities are superb. There he gets one in the middle of the back.
Well, he had to earn that free kick, Messi, because the initial challenge from Castro was good. It was just the spring heels of Messi that meant the fullback then had to drag him down. Riquelme about to deliver the Argentina free kick. Oh, and he looked for the head of Cambiasso. Wasn't too far away from getting purchase on that.
Just a little flick there could have caused Mexico a big problem.
Lovely touch from Riquelme, on by Messi. Cambiasso trying to feed Messi again.
That's why you cannot switch off as an opposition player. It's
almost as if the Argentine players are saying, how dare you take the game to us in the early minutes of the second half. We're supposed to be the team with flair, the team that play in a flamboyant style. Now we're going to turn it on. We have another free kick here, Argentina.
Again, Riquelme gets the ball, first touch so good, and every time he gets in an area like that where he looks to hurt Mexico, they bring him down. Oh, there's a camera on the goalkeeper, similar position from the one that caused him embarrassment in the first half of the goal. I'm sure he'll stay put this time if the ball's floated around his box. Right, this is more central.
I think Riquelme's going for goal here. No, disguise on it. But nothing doing by the header of Cambiasso. Kept in, was it? No, not quite, by the pacey Guardado.
We've been mentioning Riquelme quite a lot, Messi, Tevez. The one player who, again, has not stood out maybe, but has done a fabulous job is Mascherano. Much underrated. You know, the player who sits there and protects and gets the ball, gives it to Veron, gives it to Riquelme. All the great teams who've won big competitions have had them. I mentioned Didier Deschamps before with Zidane and Dunga for Brazil. You know, they're worth the weight in gold because they've got to be so dedicated in what they do.
Oh, it may open up here for Argentina. It's Messi! Simply magnificent! And the whole of this stadium rises to 20-year-old Lionel Messi, because that was a goal to savour.
Out of this world. Absolutely brilliant. You could use all the superlatives in your world, but this is fantastic. Look at that. One touch. Keeper's got no chance. Good vision. One touch. Knows exactly what he wants to do. That is so difficult. To do what he did there, that is perfection. That's what you work for. That's what you live to see. As a commentator, as a co-commentator, as a fan, as a teammate, you want to see that. That is just out of this world.
Well, no wonder he wears a broad smile. And whoever is supporting whom inside this stadium, everybody just had to applaud that piece of sublime skill from Lionel Messi.
Well, if I paid to get in that stadium, I'd walk out and pay again to come back and see that.
And here, Messi setting up Riquelme. Brilliant challenge from Magallon. And that's saved Mexico from going 3-0 down.
Should have been 3, shouldn't it? Oh, that's just giving me goose pimples. The hairs on the back of my neck are stood up there after that goal.
Well, everywhere he's been in Venezuela, he's been mobbed like a pop star rather than a footballer.
Look at this. First touch, knows exactly what he wants to do. And that is so difficult to do. To get out of your feet, to see the goalkeeper's position, and then just to lift it over with the right amount of pace.
And Gary, there's that horrible moment from the goalkeeper. As soon as it's left the toe end of Messi, he knows he's beaten.
Oh, without a doubt. Most people would have taken it there and maybe another touch in front and tried to drill it across the goalkeeper. Not Messi. That is, you talk about world-class players, and it's used very much with a lot of players. That is world-class. That is what everybody has to aspire to. And it's used too loosely, world-class. Especially in our country. That's breathtaking.
And they're not built for sitting on a lead. Argentina, wonderfully progressive under their coach, Alfio Basile, who came out with a quote that it's not just winning matches, but it's winning matches with style that pleases him so much. Do you know, I think there's many millions of Brazilians would rather those words had come out of the lips of Dunga, but they haven't.
It pleases the rest of us as well, Kevin, the way they play. And you've got to feel for Mexico. They started the second half so brightly, took the game to Argentina.
Tevez. The referee's given a penalty. Well, that has stunned the Mexican defence, because it looked on first viewing that Tevez might well have conned the referee here.
It stunned me as well. That's just obstruction. And that is close to the edge of the box. He's going away, out of the box. It's obstruction, if anything. Here we see him, he gets in the box, checks back out, it is in the box, but it's obstruction. It's not a penalty.
Marquez, the player involved, the Mexican captain, still having a word in the ear of the Chilean referee. But Juan Roman Riquelme kisses the ball, places it on the spot. And you would think if this goes in, then it's all over for Mexico's chances of a Sunday final meeting with Brazil.
Well, they do love a second half performance, don't they, Argentina? Well, let's see if the goalkeeper stays on his line, unlike last night. For the final save.
It's Riquelme against Sanchez. And it's going to be the final that everybody predicted, that almost everybody wanted. And how cool was Juan Roman Riquelme? So typical.
I'm just sitting back here with the biggest smile on my face. Don't you just love to watch football played like this? It is, and that man has got a lot of credit to take for it. Look at this for confidence. Dear me. That takes a lot of bravery. I know they're 2-0 up, but fantastic. Oh. They say you can't play in the Premiership. A lot of people are saying that. I don't know where they get that from. I just don't think they know the game if they're saying that, because that man is just majestic.
He plays with such a nonchalance, but he plays with a purpose. Laid back, he's almost horizontal. Juan Roman Riquelme. Goal number 79 in this tournament. We're averaging well over 3 goals a game. It's one more now than the whole of the tournament in Peru 3 years ago. And that was the highest number of goals, incidentally, in 2004 since 1975. It's been goal-drenched and it's been 5-star entertainment.
Well, it shows you how good Argentina are. This Mexican side have put up, I think, a really good performance. Switched off just before half-time, yet naivety. But look at this, they're still going forward, and that's what they started the second half like. But Argentina just seem to take it in the stride. Look at this. Oh, no confidence there. And they just think, well, yeah, okay. You know, these aren't bad, this team against us, but we're better. We'll just go forward and do what we do best and take them apart. All right, Brazil aren't watching this.
Here's Pinto. And deserving of at least 1 goal in this semi-final. Mexico.
I said it early in the first half, this is the problem when you play against Argentina. It's not 1 or 2 that hurt you. It can be 5 or 6. And eventually you feel they will.
Riquelme.
I'm sure Tevez will want to get in on the action. He's on the score sheet again. Well, they say football's a learning curve, and Mexico will certainly learn from this.
Well, playing like this, surely they're not going to be denied their first major trophy since 1993.
And we're talking about the team they're playing on, Brazil, who usually that's said about them. You know, they're the team that everybody has to beat. They're the team full of the quality. We know quality's missing in Kaká and Ronaldinho, but they don't look the same Brazil we've all come to love over the years. But they have lost a number of players. That's the problem for them. Well, that's a little bit of play acting there by the goal scorer.
No, I think it's card there for Marquez. I don't think it's unkind to say that Brazil are showing an emphasis on being merely efficient and winning goals at any cost under Dunga presently. But Argentina are a different level altogether. Castillo.
Who's tracking back again? Mascherano.
Mascherano, along with the likes of Tevez and Messi, Argentina will build their future on over the next few years. Some of the veterans will hope to hang around for a little bit longer. There was a decision to make for Basile when he came in for his second stint in the job, whether he was to jettison the veterans. He decided not to. It's going to be a gradual rebuilding, and he's using the veterans to bring on the youngsters. Wise move.
Oh, very wise. Couldn't agree with you more. It's very easy to do that, say, well, let's get rid of so-and-so and so-and-so, but young players need a little bit of guidance out there on the pitch, and it's good to have those big names around you. Lifts you, gives you confidence.
This is Castro getting forward, the Mexico right back. He's got room for the cross now. Good deflection and cleared acrobatically by Ayala.
So give them credit again, Mexico. They've not given up the ghost. They're still playing exactly the same way they were in the first half, and the way they started the second half. Trying to get something out of this game. How difficult it's going to be for them.
Energy sapping 70-odd minutes for Mexico, and mentally as well as physically they must be hurting at the moment. Here's Medina. It's nicely worked. It's Medina's cross. Easy header for Ayala.
They haven't done Argentina's switch off. They're still being professional. And they've got experience at the back to be able to do that. I was thinking about a comment Gary McAllister made, I think a very, very relevant point as well, regarding Riquelme and Chelsea. What an acquisition he'd be for that team.
It's fascinating that he's up for grabs. Still his registration owned by Villarreal, but he's been back in his native Argentina with Boca Juniors, playing brilliantly in the season just finished. He was outstanding in the Copa Libertadores final, South America's equivalent to the Champions League, against the Brazilians of Grêmio. Scored 3 goals in the 2-leg final. This is Guardado. Arce, Castro, Castillo. Put in was Cambiaso's. Tevez.
What I love about them, everybody wants the ball. They don't hide. It's fabulous.
Hard to see how Mexico are going to upset this semi-final, so the final itself coming up for you on Sunday almost certainly now is going to be the one that virtually everybody wanted. Argentina against Brazil. 9:30 the build-up starts, Sky Sports 1. Referee saw that as a dive from Tevez.
The positions Riquelme takes up, he's not just in the centre of midfield, he just wide, he just wherever he likes to, because you know he's got the license to do that because of Cambiaso, because of Mascherano. Still, the work rate's good from Mexico. They're still trying to close down.
Messi. Awkward one for Zanetti. This is Guardado. Arce. Medina.
Can't we convince the authorities in South America to hold this every year?
Well, at times they have in the past played this competition every 2 years. There's been 3 between this one in Venezuela and the last in Peru. But as from here on in, it's going to be every 4 years, and it's going to be the year after the World Cup, which will benefit the tournament as a whole, because they'll be preparing for the next round of World Cup qualifiers, and therefore, like Venezuela 2007, we're going to see most of the best players here. Mexico haven't brought their full squad here. 3 players has to be left out due to fatigue, but all the big guns here for Argentina, and boy is it showing.
None of them look tired, do they?
No.
Because they just make that ball do the work for them. They move it well, they support well.
There has been a little bit of talk about extending the number of nations from 12 to 16 at some time in the future by inviting 2 more countries from the CONCACAF region, and possibly the 2 former colonial powers in this region, Spain and Portugal. That's all for the future. Here and now, Argentina coasting to Sunday's final, leading through goals from Mainze, quite delicious second from Messi, and a penalty from Riquelme.
The Venezuelan officials should be proud of what they've put on for everybody. The tournament's gone splendidly. I think the support has been terrific, colourful, vocal. I think it lifts the players.
And as you know, Gary, it was an ambitious project the government set out on of Hugo Chavez. They put a lot of money into it, 9 different cities, so they had to get the infrastructure right. 3 brand new stadiums. Of course, when the circus rides out of town, there's plenty left here for the sport of football to grow in a country in which baseball is the #1 sport.
Well, it can only lift the morale of people watching sport, I would think, when they've seen a feast of football like we've seen.
Absolutely.
In this tournament. Surely, hopefully the kids will be watching, they think, oh, I want to be part of this. Wasn't Messi fantastic? What a goal that was. You know, Riquelme, all the names they've seen in this tournament.
Argentina are going to make their first switch as Juan Sebastian Veron makes way here now for Real Madrid's highly promising young central midfield player Fernando Gago.
A sensible move. Save Veron's legs.
Very much one for the future. Gago, just 21. In fact, Basile is going to make a double switch. Carlos Tevez departs, and on comes the Boca Juniors striker Rodrigo Palacio.
It's nice for a coach when he's able to do that. Semi-final, 3-0 up.
Here's Messi. Round 1. Can he square the pass? Yes, he can. Real chance for 4. And if Sanchez got a hand to that, and I think he may well have done, it goes down as a brilliant save.
Certainly was. Redeemed himself a little. Great awareness again. Palacio takes it early, just gets the fingertips to it. Look at Messi, though. Always aware. Good balance again. Keeper narrows the angle and just gets the fingertips to it. Unfortunately, it fell as his first touch, but what a good area to get in for your first touch.
What an introduction that could have been for Palacio. Hasn't scored a senior international goal, Rodrigo Palacio. He's mighty close there. Good awareness from Messi. You know, we often say about young players that they take time to mature, but he has got the lot and he sees the full picture, doesn't he?
Oh, unbelievably so. I mean, he was out injured for a while, which has probably benefited Argentina. He's desperate to get games and play, and you can see it. He just plays it with a smile on his face, and I've never seen a player, I don't think, when he's got the ball, he plays it and he doesn't stop. He just carries on, moves, and he causes you so many problems just by that movement.
And the one endearing thing about Messi is he is so modest. Refuses to be termed as a star, really. He's almost embarrassed by the term.
Isn't it nice to see professional footballers like that? So often we just see the blacked out windows of cars, and you know, they keep away from the public. It's almost celebrity now. It's you see them on the centre court at Wimbledon in the Royal Box, and VIP, you know, all this sort of stuff, and you see people like Messi and the like just get on with it. It's what they love doing.
Onside here, Medina. Had the option to deliver the cross first time. Guardado!
That's a decent effort, and they really do deserve a goal out of this. Good concentration at full stretch. Tries to go across the goalkeeper. Medina's done well since he come on. He's caused problems and just can't hit the target.
Hugo Sanchez is going to make his final substitution. Gonzalo Pineda is the player stripped and ready to come on. But there's no way back from this situation for Mexico, but they can leave this stadium tonight with their heads held high. Guardado. I think, as you touched on earlier, Gary, it's going to be interesting to see Mexico's progress over the next year or so under Sanchez.
Well, I think there's a lot for Mexico fans to be proud of and to look forward to. If they've got a wealth of talent underneath coming through, the under-21s, the under-18s and teams like that, then if they allow Sanchez to work with them, who knows?
Pineda from Guadalajara played in every game in the World Cup last year. Mexico still have an opportunity to see them in their final match. That'll be for the third and fourth place playoff, where they'll meet Uruguay, who so very nearly came through the penalty shootout in the first semi-final against Brazil. Had a penalty to win it, but hit the post with that. And for the second successive Copa America, Uruguay bowed out to Brazil on penalties in the semi-final.
They're just seeing it out now, aren't they? Argentina just making Mexico work across the line, just keep switching the play. Give it Riquelme.
Join us on Saturday, by the way, for that game between Mexico and Uruguay. Pressure off in many respects. Two sides who can play open attacking football. Should be an interesting watch. Copa America in Venezuela, the first significant steps for the South American nations as they prepare for the World Cup qualifiers for 2010 in South Africa. They begin in October. Messi. Riquelme. Wide here for Zanetti. Ainsley. Now Gago. Forward by Milito. Controlled well by Palacio. Chance to link here with Cambiasso. Guardado. Marquez, the captain, trying to step into midfield to look to produce something for Mexico.
The only thing wrong with the Mexico performance, apart from switching off just before half-time, was when they've had the chance to hurt Argentina, they're not taking it. Overplayed it a little bit, trying to make a good chance better, and you can't do that against Argentina.
The Argentina coach, Alfio Basile, stretching his magnificent Copa America coaching record to 18 games unbeaten, 13 wins and 5 draws. And the ovation now for the wonderful Juan Roman Riquelme, coached, or rather coaxed out of retirement by Basile. Decided to call it a day after the World Cup when he came in for some criticism, amazingly so. And his place now for the remaining minutes goes to Pablo Aimar.
You see Riquelme go off and you think, oh, thank goodness for that, and you see Aimar come on. Yeah, I think Riquelme was hard done by there. He was running that tournament until that, again, I keep going back because it spoilt my World Cup, because the negativity kicked in and it wasn't his doing, it was the coach's doing, and that cost Argentina dear.
Well, there'll be huge expectation in South Africa 2010 on the shoulders of Argentina. Will they be up to meet that challenge? Certainly they're going to be there or thereabouts in terms of the favourites.
Brazil have had to shoulder that burden for a number of years. And it's to be Argentina's turn.
Mascherano.
Mexico haven't resorted to cynical fouls. 3-0 down, getting moved about the pitch now by the passing of Argentina. Sometimes you see cynical fouls and ridiculous ones. It's not happened yet.
There have been times in the past in the Copa America where there's been a lot of indiscipline in terms of late and angry tackles, but we've seen very little of that. We haven't seen an awful lot of play acting. It's been good to report. It's been a lot of refreshing aspects to this tournament. There really has.
The offensive play has been at times spectacular. Defensively at times it's been a little bit dubious. Goalkeeping moments have not been the best either, but overall the whole mixture of the tournament has been one that you'll remember for a long, long time.
Arce. Mexico really deserve a goal for their efforts tonight. Doesn't look as though they're going to get one though. Nice touch from Gago. Here's the other substitute, Palacio.
He's looked impressive since he's come on. One thing we've not mentioned really is the refereeing. I think the overall standard of the refereeing has been pretty good.
Bondantieri wins the race into the last minute of the 90. but they'll play worse and win games. Mexico. It was pretty even for most of the first half. Only that late first half goal from Ainse really put Mexico on the back foot, at least going in at half-time. But they came out, they took the game to Argentina in the early minutes of the second half, looked dangerous. But then the wonderfully gifted Lionel Messi, like a dagger to the heart of the green-shirted Mexico players, scored with the most outrageous chip. The abiding memory of this semi-final. Here's Palacio on his own. Now the support arriving. It's Messi!
Well, you just thought that was sailing into the top corner. Palacio again does very, very well. Messi steadies himself, tries to place it in the top corner. Just not enough curl on it. Every time he gets in that area, you expect an explosive finish, don't you?
Playing 3 minutes, the time added on.
There are only a number of players, I think, in the world would have scored that one. Messi scored. You think of Ronaldinho's, Wayne Rooney's. Special.
And surely it won't be long before Messi is crowned the best player in the world. He's pretty close to it now, I would have thought, Gary.
Not far off. Not far off at all. Well, you look at the Ronaldinho's, don't you? Riquelme's, Messi's, Kaká. Yeah, they're the players you aspire to.
In by Guardado. Gago. Taken on here by Palacio to retreating Mexican defence. This is Messi. Lovely ball. Oh, they're trying to set it up there for Palacio. It was not quite accurate enough, the header.
Ball again from Messi was a dream.
Final minute then. Aymar with a throw. Well, how do you see Sunday's final, Gary?
Well, group stages you thought Brazil ordinary, and I never ever thought I'd hear myself saying that. But they've got better as the tournament's progressed, and they're still going to be very, very dangerous. But you look at Argentina and just think it's theirs to lose. They have the most gifted players. They should win it on the performances we've seen, but never discount the Brazil side.
So the referee, Carlos Chandia, blows the full-time whistle. It's going to be a third, fourth place playoff for Mexico against Uruguay. But the final on Sunday is the final that virtually everybody wanted, and they've got it. Brazil against, without any argument, the guardians of the beautiful game in 2007, Argentina. They've won this semi 3-0.
It's the showpiece. It's the one we wanted. Just as Kevin said. The tournament wasn't